What up? This is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Disney Plus new series, National Treasure, Edge of History. Hey, before you watch my review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, ring that bell, so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. Let's rock this. First up, I would like to say thank you to Disney Plus for granting me the screeners to the first 2 episodes of this new show. They've asked me to not spill spoilers, therefore this review is spoiler free. I repeat, there are no spoilers in this video review. Okay, so was I ever a fan of the previous National Treasure movie franchise? Yes, I was. Those 2 movies basically filled the void that Indiana Jones left behind at that time. And to be honest, I would have preferred a National Treasure 3 or a 3rd installment of the movie rather than this spin-off series. But hey, I figured let's give it a shot. Let's see where this thing goes. And maybe, just maybe, there's a chance that this could potentially be a decent show. And now that I've watched the first few episodes, it's a bit of a mixed bag, and I'm leaning more towards it not being so great. The writing quality is mediocre, the action is tepid. Sure, the mystery itself can be intriguing, but it doesn't make up for the clunky dialogues and the cringy humor, and the fact that this whole show tries too hard to appeal to its Gen Z audiences. This is supposed to be a Disney Plus show, but it looks and feels and is handled more like a Disney Channel presentation. Executive produced by Jerry Bruckheimer and John Turteltaub and directed by Mira Nair, in National Treasure Edge of History, Jess Valenzuela's life is turned upside down when an enigmatic stranger gives her a clue to a centuries-old treasure that might be connected to her long-dead father. Jess has a knack for solving puzzles, and her skills are put to the test as she and her friends follow a series of clues hidden in American artifacts and landmarks. But can Jess outsmart a black market antiquities dealer in a race to find history's greatest lost treasure and unbury the truth about her family's past? Starring Lizette Oliveira, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Harvey Keitel, Zuri Reed, Antonio Cipriano, Jordan Rodriguez, Jake Austin Walker, Lyndon Smith, and Justin Bartha. Okay, so each episode runs about 40 to 45 minutes long. The first episode goes immediately into the mystery, how and when and where it originated, and then it jumps straight to the present day characters. This group of young adult kids, led by Lizette's character Jess, who happens to be good at cracking codes, connecting the dots, noticing patterns, so on and so forth. Think of Jess as a pretty-looking female version of Robert Langdon. Long story short, in comes Catherine Zeta-Jones playing the big bad villain Billy, going after the same MacGuffins. The second episode is mostly about Jess trying to convince the rest of her friends to be on the same page with the whole treasure hunting idea. Meanwhile, a skeptical FBI agent starts to wonder that perhaps there's more to this mystery than meets the eye. I think the runtime is fine, and I have no problem with the pacing either. And I actually like the young cast. These fresh faces I had never seen before prior to this show. Lizette Oliveira specifically exudes savviness and acumen, like somebody whose intellect is ahead of everybody around her. The rest of the team are formulaic. You have the comic relief, you have the grifter, you have the hacker, you have the driver. As for Catherine Zeta-Jones, I gotta say, it's interesting seeing her on that Netflix show Wednesday and now on this as well. I mean, my god, Catherine is an Oscar winner who's still in her prime. I'm not hating on her decisions, and I'm not complaining, but it does baffle me as to why she's been doing small screen lately. Maybe she sees it as a nice change of scenery, who knows? But Catherine as Billy is delightfully evil. Billy is shrewd and manipulative and calculating, and Catherine plays it like a natural. Having said all that, to my point earlier, the problem with this show is the writing or the scripts. And it's one of those cases where you have these promising, colorful cast of characters having to act out situations and deliver lines that are just subpar. The character dynamics are also sometimes off and cheesy, especially among the antagonists. And here's the deal. Do you remember that Peacock's short lived series, The Lost Symbol? Well, if you recalled, the first few episodes were excellent, but then the show went downhill after that. And it ultimately crashed and burned and it got cancelled. Well, I fear that the same might happen to this National Treasure Edge of History, where in the first few episodes, despite its wonkiness, may have sufficient reason for you to stick around. It may capture your interest for a little while, but then the subsequent episodes fall off the cliff as the writers create love triangle scenarios or other contrived annoying plot devices. Because I can tell you right now that the setup is there in these two episodes, that they're going in that exact direction. I mean, I guess you can argue that, hey, this show will do to entertain us puzzle solving geeks for now until Indiana Jones 5 arrives next year and blows everything out of the water. So, if you approach National Treasure Edge of History with that mindset, you'll be fine. This show is not the worst, but in many, many ways, it could be a hell of a lot better.